So today we're going to talk about sets versus builds. Which term is a correct term? And it's actually been a big subject of debate in the community. And recently I did a poll on Twitter. It had 287 votes in one day, not too much, but the majority said set was the correct term for Monster Hunter. And today I'm going to explain why set is the correct term in Monster Hunter. So I'm going to compare what a set is versus what a build is. So remember when Trunks went buff in Dragon Ball Z? Remember before he went buff? He was super fast. Trunks was always really fast, agile, and he had a sword. But here's the thing. When he got buff, he was slowed down. So what does a person's build mean? Build characteristics? When describing the physical characteristics of an individual, one of the first things that will strike you is the overall build or body type. Some common adjectives that you may use to describe the build of a person may include the following: plump, stocky, or overweight. So when you put it this way, a build is basically a physical change that alters skill. That's what I would say a build would be. So if Trunks had 500 points in strength, 50 points in speed, and 100 points in dexterity because he got buff as shit, the thing about being that buff is that you're going to be really slow. You may hit hard, but you hit really slow as a result. That would be a build. And the difference between hunters are that we all have the same build. The difference is that we'd have different armor sets. Armor sets are what change stats for hunters. So I'm gonna show you all some quotes from the Monster Hunter community talking about sets versus builds. Now at the end of the day, if you want to call these sets builds, it doesn't matter. But for the sake of argument here, it's definitely sets. So Fumetto says, I'd say you can only use build if you're changing the playstyle. So like Gunlance can have builds for long, wide, or normal, but Longsword can only really have sets. Gaijin Hunter says, I think for me, build refers to your base stats. So like a game where you can change the stats of your character like Dark Souls. I don't think it'll ever be more than sets in Monster Hunter as a result. The build of your character never changes, but the set does. In English, if we ask how a person was built, we mean their physical proportions. If anything, a build in Monster Hunter is how you do the character creation, but even then, most changes are aesthetic and don't really alter your physical build. Feels dirty to call a set a build. And the final quote from Parallax says, set cause the only thing that changed is the armor set. When gear is involved, it's set. When character statistics are involved, it's build. So I have builds in Dark Souls as I build my character the way I want it. And I have sets in Monster Hunter because my character itself stays the same. So from all of these quotes, I'd have to reach my verdict and say that sets is the way to go for Monster Hunter. Because literally, there is no stat allocation in Monster Hunter whatsoever. We all come out as a clean slate, looking the exact same, unless your gender's different. The only thing that changes us is our armor sets and our weapons. So at the end of the day, it's a mixed set or a full armor set. Now, if you insist on saying build, don't feel too bad about it. It just means that you might be technically wrong, but you know, who really cares?
Babe.
Okay, so she clearly cares. But I mean, really, does it really matter all that much?